I'm Tori Rhodes, and this is my beginner pediatric OT toolkit. There are certainly things I'd like to add, but these were kind of available to me. I luckily have had 5 brothers and sisters, and my mom kept a lot of toys, so I kind of went through them all and sorted through things she didn't like and was able to collect these items. Here is a simple foam puzzle, which can be used for number practice, hand and finger strength, finger isolation, and it can also be used to sort different things. So a different number of objects could go on each number, and that would practice with dexterity skills and in-hand manipulation. Bubbles are so fun and can be used for so many things. Finger isolation, deep breathing, so they could blow the bubbles themselves, or they could blow on bubbles as they're in the air, and then finger isolation is a common one here as well, so just poking the bubbles with one finger. And with that breathing, you could practice self-regulation or figuring out a sensory diet or calming techniques that work for that child, which would involve the blowing of the bubbles. Stamps are good ones for hand strength, as well as figuring out how much pressure is required to get that ink onto the stamp and then get it onto a piece of paper. You could also use stamps to make different patterns or finish patterns, which would give you a cognitive and visual component there. Play-Doh can be used for ADL practice with the knife and the scissors. They can also be used for school skills, finger isolation, so if you had a small piece of Play-Doh that a child had to reach, potentially across midline, to grab with that index finger and thumb, that could practice the tripod grasp. You're getting a tactile component, a sensory component, working on a finger and hand strength, as well as dexterity. So lots of fun things to do with scissors. These alternative little fun Play-Doh tools I thought could help with hand strength as you're pushing that Play-Doh to grow hair, and then they can cut the hair. And then I've got one that actually makes shapes, and so you have to push down here to make the different shapes, which I thought was great. Play cars are great when you have them go in a figure 8 pattern. You might have a child practice crossing midline, upper extremity coordination, bilateral integration, color identification, can all be incorporated here. And you could even go as far as to say that play cars could be used to prepare someone to drive one day. So you could go over different scenarios with play cars. I thought these dinosaur number cards were really versatile. They are for the game of war. They could help children understand the concept of greater than or less than, taking turns, playing tong games, so determining how many objects they get with the tongs by drawing a card. Number identification, self-regulation could be incorporated just by playing a game and not necessarily winning every time. Erasable window markers are great for practicing scapular stability and strength when writing on mirrors and windows, just based on the child's positioning. They can practice pre-writing skills and writing skills in a less pressure situation. And let's just face it, erasable markers are fun, and so they might be more motivated to complete the task. Stickers can be used for finger isolation. So if you were to put one sticker on the back of a left hand, a client would have to peel that sticker off of their other hand, or they often want to do that, which prompts them to use a tripod grasp. And you're also kind of getting bilateral coordination and sometimes crossing midline there. So you can prompt clients to cross midline by placing stickers in certain places, helps with tripod grasp. Interoception is addressed with some of the stickers I have here, so just being aware of how you're feeling, or like self-regulation even. And I thought that the faces were a fun way to do that as well, so maybe just depict how you're feeling with the stickers. And they can also, of course, be used for rewards on a sticker reward chart. Stencils are great for pre-writing and writing tasks, and once again that regulation of pressure, so just figuring out the right amount of pressure to get the stencil to transfer is great for those kiddos who are struggling and giving too much pressure or too little pressure when writing. This can also help with coloring skills. For this one, I used the lid of a box to paste different colored paper down, and then I just added salt, and I thought that it was a fun way to practice those writing and pre-writing skills, once again in a low pressure situation where, you know, if you make a mistake, it can easily be undone and practiced again. You're also getting tactile stimulation and sensory processing help here. This animal playmat is great. It actually verbalizes either the letters when you touch them with a finger or the noise that the animal makes. So it's great for animal identification. It comes with a bunch of animals, which I'll show you here. Clients who need to practice crossing midline, alphabet practice, they are getting auditory stimuli, practicing with dexterity, finger isolation, and finger strength here. The classic shape sorter puzzle is great for both color identification and shape identification. And then you're getting a visual component, so just that visual discrimination, being able to figure out where the certain shapes go is really beneficial from this toy. I included a couple more baby toys that I do have in my toolkit here. Other things that I'd like to add are tongs, definitely some theraputty, and more objects to gather with tongs, so even if that's simple little puff balls. But that is it. This is what I have in my OT pediatric toolkit so far, and I am excited to see all of yours. Thanks so much for watching.